Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Lobster beat the Chargers. 3 consecutive wins in a row. Then he lost to Oakland. Oh no! Brock Lobster! Brock Lobster! Brock Lobster! Yeah, awesome. Hey guys, welcome to the Garbage Time Podcast. We owed you a Brock Lobster. There it was. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Katie Nolan, and today's podcast is brought to you by Adidas. Stop wasting your workouts and start finding your more with tracking and training gear from Adidas. Fit Smart and Smart Run give you the stats that matter and coach you to improve every step of the way. Search Fit Smart or Smart Run at adidas.com today. I am joined by producer Matt.
Hello, Catherine.
Hello, and producer Dave.
Hey, yo.
Later in the show, I'm going to be joined by Randy Moss. Here's a quick moment from that chat.
Did you see Tom run for that first down the other night?
I did.
Did you hold on to your hat?
I always am holding on to my hat when Tom runs.
So like I said, Matt, to me, knowing that you don't really get to see that often, man, I'm over there. Boy, you better run because they coming. So I like having fun with it. So like when my wife hears me and stuff, she's like, boy, what's going on? Tom is running.
If you want to skip ahead and hear the rest of that, it's going to be about 20 minutes in. But first, actually, like very first, I just realized it gets warm in here in a onesie. But we're going to fire on through this podcast.
Can you tell the listeners what you're wearing?
I am
for
wearing-
the,
I'm wearing
audio crowd?
a Christmas-themed onesie from, I believe, H&M. It's red and pink, which I always learned didn't go together, but it's working for me.
Yeah.
Once you put one on, it's very hard to take it off.
Yeah,
You know,
what
it's like,
sort of a
why,
day?
why would I take this off at any point? I'm just chilling today. So, also
Keep it
wearing a hat brought to us by another one of our sponsors, but we'll get to that later.
Awesome.
Good tease.
I haven't spoken to either of you, producer Matt or producer Dave, in a long form about LA.
That's
Yeah.
right.
The show we did in LA last week.
Yes.
That's right.
You guys weren't there, which was really sad.
Yeah.
So we have a small budget, so we could only take a couple people. I had to go. They
yeah,
tell
you
me.
were needed.
I needed to be there. But I guess my first question, for anyone who didn't see the show, we played a game with Jay Glazer called Recent Call Roulette, where I got to go through his phone and call people that he had recently spoken to, one of which was Guy Fieri, which was really cool. But
Very
that had
cool.
been vetted, so I knew that was the guy I was supposed to call. But then there was somebody else on the top. It was no name. It was just a red phone number. And I realized as Jay Glazer was like, go ahead, call it. I was like, this is a surprise. Something's happening here because what's up? And I had no idea, as I think you could tell by my reaction. It was Rob Ryan. So my first question to you two is like, did you guys know that was happening back here in New York?
We did not.
Are you lying?
No, we did not. We knew that there was a big surprise coming, but we were surprised until it happened, which was awesome.
Yeah.
It was cool to see your reaction to it. It was friggin' awesome, like not knowing how you're gonna react.
Well, afterwards, somebody was like, oh my God, when you jumped up on the chair, and I realized that I blacked out with excitement because there was a live audience, which I'm not used to, and there was a ton of executives there. Like I think Jamie Horowitz was in the room, and I'm on the phone with Rob Ryan, and like all this stuff was happening. So I just was really excited, but I didn't remember at all what I did. And so when I watched the show back, I realized that like I hit Jay Glazer, and my hand was like shaking.
That was insane.
It was amazing.
That was so crazy.
So go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was wondering, like, at what point did you sort of think, like, oh, that's who this might be?
So earlier in the day, I had said to one of our producers, like, I want to ask, because the story came out that Rob was in Buffalo with the Bills. And so I was like, I want to ask Jay Glazer why Rob is there. Is he going to be coaching? What's the deal there? I'm like, make sure he has some information. And he's like, yeah, I'll text him and let him know. And so didn't really address that again because we had so much going on in the show. And once Jay said, what are you doing in Buffalo? Because I kept saying, who is this? Who is this?
Yeah.
And when he said, what are you doing in Buffalo? You see my face, I sort of sat up and was like, who is this? Thinking it was him. And then when he said it, Well, the first thing he said was, "Oh, not the Katie Nolan. I love Katie Nolan," and that's when I started freaking out.
That was insane.
I am still not entirely convinced it wasn't a Rob Ryan impersonator that you guys paid. That I will soon find out. But I feel like legally we couldn't get away with saying that was Rob Ryan if it wasn't.
No, it was definitely
It was him.
It was
But did
definitely
you
him.
hear him say, like, I love the show, we watch it every week,
Yeah.
and I always laugh. That thing you did with Kobe last week and the kids on the bench. Like,
Yes.
you reference specific things we did on the show. I think he watches our show.
I'm sure he watches it.
You think he listens to the podcast?
I think he does. So like knowing that he's watching and listening, is that like changed
I
the
can't.
way?
No,
Yeah.
I get the question, but like I can't think of it that way because if I'm constantly thinking of Rob Ryan watching our show, I won't function properly.
I think that's smart.
I just can't
It's the right
believe.
strategy.
Somebody brought up the question when he says we watch it all the time and laugh. Who do you think he's talking about?
His wife.
Yeah.
But do you think he's like,
Because
hey,
she's
honey,
super jealous.
watch this
Yeah.
show of this weirdo chick who's like in love with me? I bet he's talking about his son.
I think it may be the wife and be like, hey, honey, just want to let you know, this girl really into me, so I just want to show this to you so you realize like you better
That's right.
keep up the good work as a wife because I have other options.
I just want her to know that I'm not a homewrecker, and I appreciate her, and I'm just very jealous of her life, and I appreciate her husband very much, but that I don't mean to cause any strife.
If there was a TV show that had the host had my girlfriend's face on that person's laptop, I would be watching.
I don't think
I think
you
that's
would.
why
I don't think
he's
you would. I
watching.
think you would kill that
Oh
man.
no, I'd be watching. I would be watching every frame of it. What's
Just-
going on here?
Just to make sure nothing,
That's right.
everything stays
Of course.
above the rim.
I feel you on
Is
that.
that a thing?
Above the rim.
Above the rim.
Great
movie.
film.
Yep.
Great film.
Great
Tupac
film.
makes a great coach.
That's
For
right.
sure.
Okay, it's been a few weeks. I don't know if I remember how to do this, but should we fade some picks?
Yeah.
Fade that pick. These picks are being made by someone with absolutely zero gambling expertise, so if you choose to bet actual money on these picks, you're stupid and don't care about money because these picks are all probably going to be wrong. So definitely fade these picks.
So quick refresher, here's how it works. My producers are going to give me some info on a few games from this upcoming weekend. I'm going to give my picks, but I encourage you guys to pick the opposite of who I pick, also known as fading my picks. Last time we did this, I went 2-2. I lost my lock of the week, which was Pats -10 against the Eagles. By the way, I was in LA for that game. Couldn't watch a second of it. I was doing voiceovers for this Westminster Dog Show special that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch any of that
Good.
game, but I was receiving text messages telling me all the awful things that were happening.
How did it sound? What was like a line from that? The yellow Labrador has a great range and a strong vertical leap. Is it like that?
Where did you get the VO from my Westminster thing? You
It's
crushed that.
insane.
Great
It's
job.
insane.
No, actually, one line from it was about one of the dogs. She was a Brittany Spaniel, and I said she was the.
Brittany
I think it's a
Spaniel.
Brittany Spaniel. She was the #1 Brittany bitch of the year. Yeah, it was funny. Anyway, my fade that
Let's
pick
just not go
record.
down that wormhole.
We won't. We won't. My fade that pick record now is 11-14-1, and I'm 2-5 on my locks of the week. So to be clear, if you've actually faded my picks, you have won money.
You're
and
rich.
You are welcome. Are
Yeah.
you
Oh.
rich?
Rich.
Are you rich,
Rich in
bitch? Let's get started though. First game.
Panthers at Giants. Panthers -5.
This is an interesting one because the
Oh,
Panthers
yeah.
are undefeated, and the Giants like to make undefeated teams defeated for no reason.
thing.
Matt, give me some stats.
It is so good to be back, Katie. Carolina has the
Wait,
fourth best
what?
scoring. It's so good to be back. Fading picks.
I enjoy
I'm
it,
really
too.
excited. Everybody knew Carolina had a good defense coming into the season. Fourth best scoring defense in the league. Okay, that's great, but not a huge surprise. They have the best scoring offense in the league.
I don't believe you.
Almost 32 a game. Holy shit.
That doesn't make sense.
Damn.
That's crazy.
I would never have believed you if I didn't have the numbers in front of me.
It's insane.
That doesn't
Without
sound
their
correct.
best wide receiver, it's just
That's
it's remarkable.
Right.
Crazy. Who was their best wide receiver?
Benjamin.
Well, it
that's
was
right.
Benjamin,
Yeah.
and then it was like, oh, he
you
already
imagine how
had
that guy
limited people to
feels?
throw to, and it's like, I guess Devin Funchess and Ted Ginn, and look what he's
Ted
doing
Ginn
with
had
them.
a game.
For
last week.
real, they're making it happen.
Anyway, Dave, what do you have? Are
so
you also happy to be back? You have to
I'm
leave
really
with that
happy
now.
to be back, for sure.
Great.
You asked Randy Moss about this, and we're going to hear what he thought later, but I'm curious your take. Panthers are 13-0. Do you think it would be better for them to get a loss out of the way now to take off the pressure of being undefeated going into the playoffs?
Well, so in general, I think that theory makes sense. Like, get a loss out of the way before you get too deep into it. But at this point, 13 games in, 3 weeks left in the regular season, it wouldn't help them to lose now. They have to just keep winning because they have so much momentum. there's this narrative, us against the world, nobody thought we could do it. They have to just keep going because it won't, if they lose now, it will do things to their morale, I think. Even just a little bit. The media will jump on what their storyline is. We knew they weren't going to be undefeated. And then if they end up, I don't know, not even making it to the Super Bowl, how pissed would they be? Or like making it to the Super Bowl and lose, like just keep winning. I think
agree.
you should always default to keep winning. Matt, who are you going to pick?
I like the Panthers a lot here. I watched a lot of Giants games. They're not good.
That's true.
That's my analysis.
Solid
Yeah, I
analysis.
feel great about that.
Dave, your pick?
I'm also taking Panthers -5. I don't see anything in this Giants team that says they're the team that's going to stop this Panthers team at all.
Somebody tweeted earlier today that the Giants would win because whenever there's a record book, Eli Manning gets his boogers all over it. And I thought that was hilarious, but I'm still going to agree with you both and go Panthers -5.
Fade that pick.
All right, next game, maybe we will have differing opinions.
Texans at Colts. Pick 'em.
That's fair. We could do this.
Yeah.
We can disagree on something here.
Oh, man.
Texans, Colts, same record, and it's a pick 'em, very even keel. Matt, what do you got?
Well, I know one thing we're agreeing on. None of us are going to watch this travesty of a contest.
That is true.
Indianapolis has won 23 of their last 27 against Houston. That
It's a strange,
is
random-
insane,
Yeah.
including the last 6.
Random numbers.
Yeah, but
You
You
there's
said a
some
lot of
different faces in
numbers.
this game.
Most of them random.
Yeah.
So Andrew Luck did practice Wednesday, but as of now, it still looks like starting quarterbacks for this game are T.J. Yates for Houston,
whoop.
Charlie
God.
Whitehurst for Indy.
Whoop, whoop.
Check this stat out. 2 quarterbacks who have won 3 combined games in the past 4 years.
But how many games did they play?
I mean,
Like 7?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a misleading stat, but I get it.
the point is, not a lot of experience out
Yeah.
there on the field the
Yeah.
past 4 years. Definitely not a lot of winning in the last 4 years. Yet these are the 2 guys who are going to determine who is in first place in the AFC South.
That's insane.
How do we feel about that?
I feel like Charlie Whitehurst gets a lot of wins off the field, if you know what I'm saying. Giggity. He's nice looking.
Oh, sure.
He's got like
Interesting take.
long hair.
Yeah.
So I was
Clothes in
looking
the
at his
wind.
Pro Football Reference page, not to interrupt you. And you know how like sometimes
No,
next
please
to like
get
their
us back on track.
names, you know, like so like players' names there'll be like Ben Roethlisberger. It says like Big Ben. Tom Brady's is like Tom Terrific, which is apparently a nickname.
Hate that nickname.
His Charlie Whitehurst's Pro Football Reference page says Clipboard Jesus on it.
Really?
Yes,
That's awesome.
that's insane.
Because he looks a little bit like Jesus, and holy.
Clipboard Jesus.
Yeah.
I bet Tebow was pissed that was taken when he was a backup. He's like, I want to be Clipboard Jesus.
He was, in his own
That's
right.
my thing. It's nuts here too that I mean these teams are each a game above the Jaguars, but like the Jaguars look really good, and it's just nuts at how wide open this division is. That all of a sudden it could be like Blake Bortles leading a team into the playoffs.
It's
He's
crazy how
legit.
bad the Colts are.
Yeah.
They're really bad.
It's insane. Like, they should have been really good.
Yeah.
They should have run away with this division.
Everyone thought they would. Yeah.
Not even close.
I also think it's nuts that everyone's fantasy season is going to come down to whether T.J. Yates could throw the ball to DeAndre Hopkins and if Charlie Whitehurst could get the ball to T.Y. Hilton.
Makes it more fun, though, I think. Also, are you guys still alive in your fantasy leagues?
I
not.
am alive in a league.
You are, Matt. You aren't?
I am not. I'm all in
yeah.
on the Picks League.
Fuck you, Dave.
Sorry.
Who's
I'm
in
sorry
first
to
in
be
the
so
Picks
good at
League?
this.
Shaboy.
Shaboy.
Who's
Shaboy
in second
remains
in the
in
Picks
Producer
League?
Matt is in first. Producer Dave is in second.
That's
Yes.
right.
What
That's
place
right.
am
That's
I
why
in?
people show up here.
I think you're like in 5th.
I'm in fifth.
Not bad.
Just fading myself in my picks in the middle of the
You had a
mix.
strong week last week or something.
Did I? I
Recently, yeah.
don't think I did.
Recently, yeah.
Yahoo often forgets to lock my picks in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Hurts
yeah.
my
Oh,
feelings.
yeah, the old Yahoo forgot excuse.
Oh, it forgot. It also drafted C.J. Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
Auto draft.
Oh, man.
I guess we can make a pick
Yeah.
on this thrilling matchup.
Man.
Matthew, who are you picking?
I think the Colts are just a worse team, regardless of quarterback. They're bottom 6 in scoring offense and defense.
Yikes.
So I guess I'm taking the stupid Texans.
Yikes.
Ugh.
I don't feel good about saying either of these teams'
No.
names as the ones I think will win.
Ugh.
I don't.
David?
I think when we have like 2 bad teams and 2 quarterbacks who have barely played, I'm going to go with the better defense, and that's the Texans, so I'll take the Texans here.
Good take.
I'm gonna take a nap instead of watch this game, and I'll just go with, for the sake of disagreement, I'll pick the Colts.
Fade that pick.
Love it.
Before we get to our next game, you guys, very exciting. We have a new sponsor.
Yeah.
As if you're watching this in video, this may have been evidenced by our hats. SeatGeek.
Yeah.
Whether you're looking to buy tickets to a game or sell tickets you can't use, you need to check out SeatGeek, the smartest way to buy and sell tickets for your favorite sports team. I've been messing around on this app recently. It's really great, very easy to use. Definitely going to be my go-to for NBA, NHL, NFL tickets. Plus, they sent me this awesome hat that Bill Simmons was telling me all about when I did Bill Simmons' podcast. Looks pretty great. If you give me a hat, I'm pretty much all in on your business. Note to other businesses. SeatGeek pulls all the ticket buying and selling options from other ticket sites into one place, which saves you time, which is really useful when you don't have a lot of time. SeatGeek also knows the fair market value of every ticket, and they use that info to show you the best deals and help you find underpriced seats. And if you have tickets you can't use, SeatGeek will help you price your tickets on their site so that you can quickly sell them to another fan. That's wildly helpful if you've ever been trying to get rid of tickets. And they have the lowest fees on any ticket site out there. Again, I'll say they have the lowest fees of any ticket site out there, and they always show you the full price up front, so you're not spending more than you thought you were. And guys, my listeners, our listeners, get a $20 rebate off their first SeatGeek purchase. So if you've been looking for an excuse to buy a ticket to something, there it is, $20 free. Just download the free SeatGeek app, go to the settings tab and click add a promo code. Enter the promo code Katie, that's Katie. SeatGeek will send you $20 once you've made your first ticket purchase. So go do that now. Download the free SeatGeek app and enter promo code KATIE today. Now that I've told you about SeatGeek, when he reads those promos, he sounds really great. And I was wondering if producer Matt, maybe you wanted to tell me what you think about SeatGeek as Bill Simmons.
Oh my gosh. I would be honored to, Katie.
Cool, Bill. What do you think about SeatGeek?
We're very proud to be supported by SeatGeek on this podcast. SeatGeek, the number one place to get tickets online. Who wants to wait at the box office behind a 79-year-old lady? Just go right to SeatGeek. You get the best prices. You know who loves SeatGeek, Katie? My adopted son, Bill Barnwell. He loves SeatGeek. I used to go to Kings games all the time. My son, Ben Simmons, huge Kings fan. It's not weird. It's not weird that he's not a Bruins fan.
No, it's weird.
No, it's not weird.
Real quick, Bill, what do you think about the Celtics this year?
Celtics, I'm all in on the Brooklyn pick. Let's talk about the Brooklyn pick for 25 more minutes. But first, I have some takes on the Harden trade. I don't think it was a good trade.
Bill, we got to move on.
Okay, well.
Thanks for stopping by.
I'll be talking about the Brooklyn pick for the next 3 hours.
Thanks for stopping by, fake Bill Simmons.
Oh, yeah, that was great. Wow, Bill Simmons was here. Bill Simmons, guys.
Thanks for being here, Bill. We appreciate that.
All right, now that that's out of the way, what's our last game?
Broncos at Steelers. Steelers -6.
All right. That's an interesting line. Matt, give me some stats.
Well, Katie, Denver's 6-1.
Stop it.
Okay, sorry. Denver's 6-1 on the road this year, straight up, which is kind of incredible, actually. Pittsburgh, though, has scored 30 or more in their last 5, so it's going to be a lot of points for your boy Brock Lobster to keep up with them.
Yeah, maybe if the O-line could protect him. What, did he take 5 sacks last week?
Yeah.
That was insane.
Or if he had a running back, or if Demaryius Thomas could catch a ball. But those are just some suggestions from me.
Speaking of running back and ball, can we later talk about the fact that the Patriots have signed Monty Ball to our practice squad?
Oh, really?
Wow.
I feel about this.
And also, they're
interviewing
R.I.P.
Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
That's like me with fantasy leagues that I draft the guy that like, this isn't a good idea. That's when I found out that the Patriots are meeting with Steven Jackson today. I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. That was me 2 seasons ago.
It is so desperate.
You're going to leave him on your bench and he'll do well, and then when you play him, he's not going to do well. Don't do it.
Great.
Go ahead, Dave. What do you got?
So Peyton Manning back practicing this week, but Broncos have confirmed your boy Brock Osweiler starting on Sunday. So my question is, let's say Manning's healthy next week. Who do you think they should? Who do you think?
Let's say my grandmother's healthy next week too.
Who do you think the Broncos should be starting the rest of the season?
Brock Lobster.
Yeah.
Brock Lobster. Until he does something that's his own fault and they lose because he looks bad, ride the hot hand. Don't bring Peyton Manning back in just because he's Peyton Manning. Your season isn't done. Try to keep winning. I don't think Peyton gets don't give me the Kobe Peyton. Don't give me he's not good anymore, but he was so good. Let's be so respectful of him. This could be his last season. Give him one more chance. No. You just go with Brock because you want to win games. And if Brock turns out not to be that guy, or if Brock gets hurt, which is entirely possible, if you're going to let him get sacked 5 times a game, then you can bring in Peyton Manning. Until then, I say you go with Brock Lobster.
So you're saying week 1 of the playoffs,
Yep.
Peyton Manning's as healthy as a man at his age could be.
Right.
And
So
Brock,
that's very important.
Yes.
That's a very important asterisk you put there on that.
Yes. But do you still, even it's playoff time, you could give the ball to Peyton Manning or Brock Osweiler, you still go Brock?
So I don't see Peyton Manning at practice, right? I don't know. I know that's a common misconception that I'm at Broncos practices watching everybody, but I don't actually get to go to that. So if you see him in practice and he isn't wincing every time he tries to throw the ball more than 20 yards down the field, then maybe you go with Peyton Manning. But he didn't look like even a little bit like Peyton Manning before when he was playing. And if you don't have a run game, there's really not much you're going to be able to do with Peyton Manning. So I say stick with Brock. You've been practicing together for a long time. The team has become a team. Stick with Brock. But again, if Peyton's like crushing it, maybe the playoff pressure would be too much for Brock. You've got him there. Just keep him. But don't ruin Brock's confidence. Be like, we're going to take you out for this 90-year-old who can't actually even really play anymore.
Yeah, it's such a tough situation. I mean, rookie coach, tons of expectations. Like, it feels like, no matter what happens, there's not like a great outcome for you.
Right.
Yeah. It's sort of like this is completely unrelated, but with the Warriors, when everyone was talking about, does Steve Kerr come back before they lose?
Right.
And it's like, if he does, he'll get blamed. If he doesn't, he'll get blamed. It's like, what do you do? Same thing with Peyton. If Peyton's ready to come back, does he come back and take the blame? Because then if Peyton comes back for a game and doesn't play that poorly, but loses, like what happened to Brock last week, then the narrative on Peyton is he's done, it's over, it's out. I don't really know what you do. And that is why I'm not an NFL coach.
Exactly.
That's the
Tough job.
only thing
tough.
holding me back is my inability to make that decision.
Otherwise, you would be.
Otherwise, I'd be crushing
killing
it. Making it rain.
Shit.
What are we doing? Picks now?
Yeah, let's do
Matt,
it.
what do you got?
I'm going to take the Broncos here. I think they're great on the road. That's a high line. I think their defense will be able to slow down Pittsburgh.
Okay, Dave, what do you got?
I'm sorry we agree so much here, but I'm also taking the Broncos. I think everyone's a little too hot in the Steelers now because their offenses look so good recently. But people are forgetting this Broncos defense is great, and I think 6 is too many.
Cool. I am going to take the Steelers look really good.
Yeah.
Their offense is
look really
rolling. And the Broncos defense, statistically, this is probably inaccurate, but I don't feel like they've looked as dominant as they looked earlier in the season.
Fair.
And I just think there's a lot going on that team with question marks that feels like it could be the week that it affects them. I'm going to take the Steelers -6.
Fade that pick.
Because my teammate Randy Moss is a huge fan of Antonio Brown, and so I like to do whatever my teammate Randy Moss, who, as I mentioned before, is my teammate, I like to do whatever he says because we're on the same team.
You are.
He and I. Okay, it's time for my lock of the week.
Katie Nolan's lock of the week.
Lately, my locks of the week have not been going so well.
I'm not.
So I'm going to take a different approach, and this week I'm going to take the Titans +14. They're playing the Pats.
Ooh.
It's my lock of the week. Lock it in.
Damn.
That will work. That will work.
That's funny.
That's going to work for me.
Definitely fade that pick.
I got to do whatever I got to do.
I love the reverse
Because if I
jinx.
keep locking in on the Patriots and they keep losing, that's a lot on my shoulders for myself and my teammate, Randy Moss. So what I need to do is lock it in. 14 is big enough that they can cover that, and also the Patriots could still maybe win. So that's my lock of the week, Tennessee Titans, whatever.
Sweet. Great.
Earlier this week, I chatted with my teammate, Randy Moss. I don't know if I've mentioned that yet, guys. Randy Moss and I are friends. We
I think
play
you
for
have,
the
yeah.
same team. We talked about, obviously, the 2007 Pats team. We talked about what Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are like behind the scenes. He says Bill Belichick is a teddy bear. I've always said that.
Oh, my gosh.
We talked about who he thought was winning the Super Bowl and MC Hammer. That's not who he thinks is winning the Super Bowl. We talked about MC Hammer. You'll see. We'll get there. Take a listen.
Randy Moss, thank you for doing this.
No problem.
This is big for me because I'm sure you know I'm a huge Patriots fan, so you make me a little nervous. But we are colleagues now at Fox Sports. So I have to ask you, how do you like being an analyst so far?
It's cool. It's different, you
Yeah.
know, different from the football field. But I was just talking to a man earlier. The good thing about Fox and being around those guys is they keep it locker room. They keep it, a football atmosphere. We have a great time. We're able to joke with one another. And at the same time, we played in the National Football League, so we get to watch, 6 to 8 games all at the same time. So it's just a great time. It's a great place to be. I'm enjoying myself. I get to travel. I get to meet new people. And the number one thing I love to do is play football. Now I get to talk about it.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing about Fox, too, is that it's like a locker room. I love being in the locker room. It's my favorite.
Right.
What would you say is the most challenging part of doing TV?
I think just being ready to go live when it's time to go live. I think that's the most challenging part because, I've been in front of a live audience before, but I think when the camera's right on me, I'm not really used to that. So I think just when it's time for, the cameras to go on, the show to start, and for you to be, on cue, on point, ready to rock and roll. Everything else is easy. The production meetings and things like that. It's just having a good time and just talking football. But when it's time for you to be able to, put it on the microphone for the viewers to be able to comprehend what you're saying, to be able to follow you and all those things. But I think that's a pretty hard job to have.
Do you have a moment in your first few years of doing this? It's been, a year? 2 years?
No, this is going on my 3rd year.
Oh, Jesus. We've been in network for longer than I thought.
Yeah.
So do you have a moment that stands out in your mind of something that you wish didn't happen? Like, I know I have moments from things I said on TV that I was like, oh, dummy, that's not what you meant to say. Has that happened to you at all?
No, not really. I mean, I get stuck for words at times, and sometimes my words may not come out the way I'm thinking about them in my head and stuff like that. And then I found out over time that just comes with, the territory. So, but for the most part, I'm pretty, definitely confident in what I'm saying and what I'm doing, and that never had one of those moments like, man, I shouldn't have said that. So I've heard stories about, like Terry Bradshaw's giving me a couple of stories, him and Jimmy Johnson, and, but like I said, man, I'm enjoying myself. It's a new adventure, with me being able to travel and meet new people and then be around football. It's a great thing.
Is this always something you wanted to do? Did you know you were going to do this while you were playing?
No, it really wasn't that. I just wanted to be around football as much as I possibly could. So being able to be on TV, being an analyst definitely wasn't a dream of mine. It wasn't a goal of mine. But I think when the opportunity came my way, I couldn't pass it up. And then it was kind of like a love type of relationship, meeting the guys at Fox, being able to sit down with them, for them to really understand me a little bit better because they seen me on the TV, acting a fool mostly every Sunday. So, to be able to, because a lot of people don't really understand that when you're out there on the football field, any given time, any given play, you could be done. Your career could be over. So I always approach the game of football, and I approached it kind of like in a mean way, not a negative way, but mean. You have to have sort of like a chip on your shoulder. You have to have sort of like a nasty attitude to go out there and do what we do. It's like you're in a car wreck every Sunday. So being able to make the transition from the field to Fox, I just wanted to let, those people know that, man, I'm totally different. I'm more very reserved, very laid back, when I don't have that helmet on. So everything's been working out, Katie, thus far, and I'm enjoying myself.
Oh, you're doing a fantastic job. A lot of former players have said things before about how once you stop playing football, there's really nothing to fill that void in your life because there's really nothing like it.
Right.
Other than, your analyst gig and being around football still. Do you have anything in your life that you're still doing that you feel like is what fills the space that football had?
No, I think just being at Fox, being able to, train with guys in the off season. I think that's just keeping me around football. There's some other things on the horizon coming for me in the near future, being around football, maybe with the NFL and things like that. So, I've always wanted to be around the game. And I've said this time and time again, the game has been so good to me and my family. And the best thing I can do is give back any way I can. And I think that our youth, the next generation coming and generations to come, really need to be educated and brought up to speed about how things are how the game is being played right now. The game is not being played just going out here and throwing and catching. You have to play off the field too. So there's a lot of things that has changed from the time that I came in as a rookie, and now that I'm retired. And like I said, I just want to be able to school this young generation on their future.
What kind of stuff would you say has changed from when you played to now?
I think just the all the social media, the business side of it, the marketing, what the expectations are off the field for all athletes, not just the elite athletes. Just how, because when I came in the league, I was always, taught that the quarterback was the man. The quarterback was the man. Well, now you got D linemen, Ndamukong Suh making $100 million. You got Calvin Johnson. You got other positions being able to be that man. So being able to come into the game with your head chopped off, not knowing what to expect, I think that these kids need to be educated and brought up to speed, because now this game is not football. It's a year-round business.
That seems like very valuable advice that rookies definitely need to hear. So I'm glad to hear you talk about that. I obviously want to talk about that 2007 Patriots team.
You want to bring up memories, woman?
I just have to, because it was so great until it wasn't so great anymore. But you had obviously a phenomenal year. What was it like behind the scenes or in the locker room that season? Did you guys know you were was every week like, we're going to win this game, we're going to win every game?
Well, I think when they start, coming on Bill Belichick with that Deflategate
Nonsense.
the Deflategate nonsense. I think that we had come together as a family to understand that one of our, brothers, slash dad is being attacked, and coach just tried to humble us and have us to really focus and pay attention to the task at hand. And that's going out there each and every day practice to make yourself better, individually and collectively. And then once the game time comes, one of the things that I did learn in New England, Katie, is if you prepare yourself and do the things that's asked of you, Sunday is just easy. And a lot of people seen the success that we were able to have in 2007. Why we were able to have that success is because we prepared as a family. We went out in the streets and had dinner as a family. We even went to events as a family. So everything that we did was family oriented. We bring in, wives, kids, girlfriends, fiancés. Everything that we did with one another for that year was all family oriented. And then it trickled down, from the weight room onto the field. So we prepared to have success because we set ourselves up to do that.
Would you say that would be what you think is the most important thing for a team? Like right now, you just were talking about the Panthers before because you're in Carolina right now. What do you think is the key to a team being so successful all the time? You think it's that family mentality of working together?
Everybody, one thing that when you're dealing with a team, everybody can't be a leader. Everybody cannot get the notoriety and the accolades, but everybody can get paid. Everybody can get a championship ring. So I think once you figure out who the guys are and understand what their job description is, then everybody else fall in line. And I think that year, everybody knew what their job description was. If the gunner on the punt team only got maybe 5 or 6, well, we didn't really punt that much. If he maybe had 2 or 3 snaps that game to go down there and nail the catcher, then you be the best gunner out there in the National Football League. So every man understood their job. We had a long snapper named Lonnie Paxton. He understood his job. He was just a long snapper. Go snap the ball, go make a tackle if you have to. So everybody understood their job, coaching staff, Belichick, Mr. Kraft, everybody did their job, and that's why we were able to have success. But you see, we fell up short.
About that. Did any part of you think that you could possibly lose that Super Bowl? I know I certainly didn't.
Well, there's always, that question in the back of your mind, because any given Sunday, anybody can be beat. But right. I was kind of, I don't want to say nervous because I get nervous every game, but I was kind of skeptical a little bit because of how hard it was for us to win in New York that last regular season game. I mean, I don't know. I think we might have been down 10 points or something like that, and we had to come back and fight to even win that game. And I think I had scored 2 touchdowns and
Just
scored
2.
one. I did score 2 touchdowns. So scored 1 touchdown. And I remember talking to our special teams captain, Larry Izzo, about, come on, man, let's fire the special teams up, man. Let's get rocking and rolling. So that game that stood out in regular season to me, it was so hard for us to win, to complete the 16-0. I knew it was not going to be a cakewalk in the Super Bowl, and they had our number. The defense came to play, and they showed up.
I hate that happened. You mentioned you used to get nervous before every game. Do you get nervous before you do TV now still, every time?
I got a handkerchief in my pocket, Katie, and my hands start to sweat. So I got to wipe my hands off before we go on the air. Now, I don't get like sweat beads on my nose or on my forehead.
That's good.
You can ask the ladies in wardrobe. I have a handkerchief in my pocket every Sunday, so maybe about 15 to 20 seconds before we go on, I make sure that, my hands are okay.
I like that. I think getting nervous makes you do well. I find that if I'm not nervous, it means I don't care.
Well, I was always taught if you're not nervous, then you're not ready.
Exactly.
So I've always been like that, so I like that, and I don't mind. I think if I don't have the handkerchief, then you may see me wiping my hands on some paper or coming down my jacket or something like that. But I got to wipe my hands off because it happens every time.
At least you're prepared.
Yep.
So what was your relationship like with Tom Brady when you were with the Patriots?
It was all love.
Yeah.
It was all love. I said when I first got to New England that I wanted to soak up everything that Tom had inside of him, football related. So I wanted them to put my locker right next to Tom's. And you've seen the magic that we were able to create and the success that we were able to have. And why? Because individually, 2 guys were focused, homing in each and every week, and then that trickled on down to the rest of the guys. And like I said, man, it was definitely a blast for me. I enjoyed myself. 14 years in the National Football League.
Yeah.
And, I was able to break a record in 2007. And the thing about it, I didn't celebrate it. I didn't, throw a big party or nothing like that, but it was kind of a goal for me because I wanted to get the all-time touchdown record and I wanted the single-season touchdown reception record. So I got one out of the 2.
Yeah.
I'm second place all-time, so it's kind of like I never really had any individual goals, but those were goals in the back of my head that I didn't know if I could ever reach them. I was able to reach one of the 2. So it was kind of like, now that I look back and reflect, man, it was just great. I look at highlights now. I didn't look at any highlights when I was playing.
Never? You never watched back highlights?
I always looked at film. So it's kind of like now I can get on YouTube. Now I can, get on there and just look at plays and look at highlight films and stuff like that. And I can actually say now that I can sit back and reflect and relax on my career that, yeah, I did, do some things and put up some great numbers out there. But like I said, man, football is a sport that's been good to me. Records are meant to be broken. All I know is I stand for faith, family, and football, and that's me.
Those are 3 very good Fs. The narrative surrounding the Patriots is that there's just so much secrecy and that we don't really know much about Bill Belichick or Tom Brady. Is there anything like with Tom off the field or in the locker room that would surprise people? A story that you have that happened with the 2 of you?
No, Tom was just down to earth and just normal. I remember one time when they caught him, I think it was him, his son, riding on a bike in the park, and they had the dog on the front. Do you remember that picture?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think somebody brought him a picture. Matt Light or somebody laughed at him or something. And so I was like ear hustling, if you want to call it that. So he was like, "Can you believe this? Can you believe this?" And I'm like, "What, Tom?" He's like, "They got me on the front page with this bike with my son and the dog or something like that." He said, "You know what?" He said, "I'm so confident in my manhood that I am willing to go out and, have some QT time with my son, knowing that I'm on a bicycle with the pretty little dog in the basket up front." So, it's just, just letting people know he's human. But other than that, I don't really have, anything. Everything we did, man, was just out of love. He's been to my home. I've been to his. We've had dinner. His wife has cooked. My kids has played with his kids. So it's just the relationship that we have is a little bit more than the football field. And I'm very glad to be able to be a part of that organization, Katie, because when I first got there, I thought I knew football. There was all of these numbers that I put up. I've been in the end zone multiple times, but when I got there, man, I got humbled very quickly to understand that, man, I don't know football. So I think that's why I hold the Patriots up on my list as the number one team. I mean, I was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. I still have love for Minnesota. But the success that I was able to have in New England, coming out of Oakland, a lot of people were trash talking, bad mouthing me, talking about how my skills were diminishing and things like that. So I really just put a conscious effort in to really go out here and just prove people wrong. And I had fun doing it, man. Gained some friends along the way. And I was definitely blessed to be able to be a part of that organization.
Well, we were blessed. They were blessed to have you as part of their organization, too. Us fans loved you and still do. What about Belichick? Is there another side to him than what we see on TV? Because he does a lot of the dismissing of questions, and people think he's a curmudgeon. I think deep down he's a softie. Have you ever seen him smile?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah?
A lot of times. Belichick
What does his laugh sound like?
Man, Bill is a teddy bear. Bill Belichick is a teddy bear. I mean, put it like this. I think the people in his inner circle, know him the best. I mean, I'm not saying I'm in his inner circle, but I have, rubbed shoulders with him. We have cut a few jokes outside of the game of football and, things like that. So, I've talked to him, just sitting there man to man. The time that I left New England and got traded to Minnesota, ended up in Tennessee, I came back that offseason and talked to Bill one-on-one. And, there was just some things said and, how things ended and things like that. So our relation goes a little bit beyond the football field itself.
And he's wonderful. He's a softie. He's not
great man. He's a great man. I think when you're the captain of the ship and you're leading all these men week in and week out, then you have to be stern. There's a certain type of focus that the head man has to have. If Bill Belichick was off his rocker, just doing, crazy things, I don't think he would have the Super Bowl rings. I don't think that he would have the love and respect from his peers and things like that he has. So there's a part of Belichick, part of Bill Belichick that has to be stern to be able to have all those people to follow him and win the way he does. So I think when you take the game of football from him, when he's able to go out fishing on the boat, when he's able to go out and spend time with his family and have dinner and watch TV and do normal things that normal people do, I think that's when you get a smile in Belichick. He loves to golf, loves to fish, and he's just a good man to be around, man, because if you understand him and know him, man, he's a great man.
I believe you. I've been saying that forever, and everyone doesn't believe me. I mean,
Yes,
I've never met him,
man.
but I feel like you can see that he's just very focused, but he's a nice guy.
Hey guys, more with Randy Moss coming up in a minute, but first, got to give some love to our sponsor, Adidas. Ready to ditch the step counters and start getting more from your workouts? Who isn't? But who has the time and money for personal trainers and fancy equipment? Adidas has the gear you need to step it up and find your more. Track the fitness stats that truly matter. I'm not talking about just steps, I mean calories, heart rate, pace, and plenty more. Adidas even gives you custom training plans to load onto your device. They'll push you to new limits that step counters never could. Pair that with a mobile app that syncs all your workout data, and it's really a no-brainer. This is the first step to a new, fitter you. This Adidas gear is designed to get you more from your workouts from day one, so if you're ready to step it up and find your more, visit adidas.com and search Fit Smart or Smart Run today. All right, back to Randy Moss.
Let's talk about this current Patriots team. How would you compare this team to the 2007 team?
Well, I think this year's team opposed to 2017, they have a better running game. I think that when you look at our year at the running back position, Kevin Falk had to do a lot. He had to do a lot in the running game. He had to do a lot in the pass, the blocking game, and then he had to be out on third down. So as far as what the New England Patriots have this year back there in the running back, they lost Deion Lewis. They got Bowden back there. And then I think it's White.
White, yeah.
Yeah, a little White. So they've been able to balance Brady out a little bit with having a better balance with the run and pass to be able to take some of that pressure off of him. But I think when you look defensively, back to offense, same weapons. I think when you look at, take the touchdowns away, just look at their physical presence out there. Well, in 07, I was getting the double and triple coverage. I think when you look at this year, Gronkowski gets the double and triple coverage. And then the other guys, the Edelmans, the Amendolas, the LaFells, they got to be the supporting cast to come in and take that pressure off of Gronkowski. Well, in 2007, we had Stallworth. We had Ben Watson. We had Jabbar Gaffney. So Wes Welker. So we were all able to do it collectively and break records in doing it. And we didn't really have that much of a running game. That's why our passing attack was so high. But I think when you look at it this year, they're a little bit more balanced. I think that our offensive line play in 2007 was 10 times better than it is right now for the New England Patriots. Defensively, I think they're better than we were in 2007. Our defense didn't really have to play that much, and when it was time for them to get on the field and play, it was kind of like you tell your defensive ends, Roosevelt, Coleman, and those guys, "Hey man, tuck your tail and go get that quarterback," because the teams were down 10-0, 14-0. If you punted us the ball in 2007. Then more than likely we're going to put points up on the board.
Yeah.
Here with the team this year, it's kind of like their defense are making teams punt. They're punting back. So I think offensively, when you look at the overall picture and not looking at the numbers, the touchdowns and the records and things like that, I think that we might have had the better offense in 2007. And the reason why, I'm looking at the offensive line play with Nate Soldier being out for the year, with Ryan Wendell. Like Ryan Wendell was there, when I was there. And, just looking at those guys, Seabass, just looking at those guys right now, they're having a lot of problems up front protecting Tom. And I think that they need to sew those things up if they want to go, deep in those playoffs, because those guys in that AFC, you got the Broncos. I don't know about the Cincinnati Bengals in this thumb with Andy Dalton, but it looks good for the Patriots to go ahead and play for a consecutive Super Bowl, but, things do happen. So hopefully their defense can definitely play complimentary football, because their defense is playing some great ball.
They are.
They playing some great football, and I love watching them each and every Sunday. So I know they have a lot of injuries. McCourty's hurt.
Yep.
They got a lot of injuries on the Patriots team, but some way, somehow, Belichick pulls that rabbit up out of that hat. And I don't know how he does it, but that's why you're a football fan and you love the Patriots, because he's able to do things when we don't expect him to do things the way he does it.
Yeah, that's for sure. Did you think at the beginning of the season it was looking like they were going to go undefeated? Did you think they would make it through an undefeated season?
Well, I think when you get to the teens, I think that's when you start, really homing in on, wow, this could possibly happen. But I didn't really pay attention. When you start 6-0, 8-0, okay. But when you start that 10, 11, get up in the teens, that's when, things can really come true. So I think that looking at the Patriots and knowing how the game is played, I didn't really know. I think it would have been good for the league for them to do it, knowing that the Carolinas in the NFC and knowing that they're in the AFC. How good would that have been to have two teams, one in each conference, to go undefeated in a regular season? So, but think about this: how much pressure would have been on both of those teams to get to the Super Bowl? So, I think that it's a good thing that Carolina's over here undefeated in the NFC. I think it's good for the National Football League. I think it's good for teams to now know that this year's Super Bowl, Katie, is up for grabs. There's no dominant team. You think about it in 2007 when we were playing, everybody was talking about, well, who's going to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl?
Yep.
They were saying that like week 4, week 5. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you look at it now, you don't really have teams that's going to be in the Super Bowl. The NFC, you got, Carolina, Arizona, the resurgence of the Seattle Seahawks. And then in the AFC, you got the Patriots, of course, the Denver Broncos, and then you have the Cincinnati Bengals. But watch out for the Kansas City Chiefs, though.
Oh, yeah?
Watch out for the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right.
No, I've been paying attention to them. They've been playing some good ball the last couple of weeks, and they got a good defense. I think a team that can control the clock, play good defense and then score some points. It doesn't have to light the scoreboard up, but if you got good defense, this year there's a lot of teams that's going to be in this playoffs with good defenses. You know, the Patriots, Carolina, Arizona, Seattle. There's going to be a lot of teams out there with good defense, and I think if the offense is able to control and manage the clock, knowing that there's good defense on the other side, man, there's no telling what type of score we're going to see. We might start seeing some 9-3s or some, 14. Yeah, it's going to be some close games in the playoffs. But at the same time, defenses are the way they are, and the offenses are going to have to come and play. That's why I'm just waiting to see. Hopefully, the Patriots get their guys back. I'm talking about the weapons, the firepower. Edelman, hopefully his foot's okay, and. Gronk, he's just he's a human machine, so whatever's ailing him, he's still going to play. So I think once they get their weapons back, be able to sew up that offensive line a little bit, everything will go according to plan for the Patriots. I think so.
Speaking of getting their weapons back, is there any part of you that thinks you could still play football in the NFL for the Patriots?
For the Patriots, Katie, I think I could still make some plays, but I've been out of the game long enough, and I'm definitely satisfied with where I am in my life. I think that the only thing that I'm missing is a Super Bowl ring, and I told myself years ago that I'm definitely cool with not winning a Super Bowl ring, because that is not what completes me. That's not what makes me who I am. So being able to have a shot, make a run for it, it was a great run. I had fun doing it. To answer your question, yes, I could still go out there and play, make a couple catches. But I think now, working at Fox, lovely wife, lovely family, just sitting at home, doing the daddy things, going to teachers' conferences, going to tutoring and things like that, man. I'm enjoying myself right now.
Okay, but just stay by your phone, because we just might need you if one more person goes down.
All right, I'll blow the dust off the jersey just in case.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I'm curious to know your thoughts. A lot of people say it's better to get a loss out of the way before the big game. So the Panthers, if they were to go undefeated up until the Super Bowl, a lot of people say you might as well lose one, takes the pressure off you. Do you agree with that?
I think yes and no, because the way I felt losing the Super Bowl in 2007 was like, man, why couldn't I get this out of the way in the regular season? The heck with the regular season. I mean, I understand how important it is, but I wouldn't want to lose one when it counted and then didn't when it didn't count. So I look at the Carolina Panthers and them going undefeated. I think if they're able, to do something that their franchise, their organization has never done before, I don't think they should rest their players because they're going to get a bye week. If you have the Carolina Panthers being a young team, they're going to get a bye week. And what if you rest certain players, the last game of the season? You're sitting here trying to tell the hottest team or one of the hottest team in the National Football League, y'all not going to play and see the football field again for 3 weeks. Now, for 3 weeks, Katie, I don't even know what type of momentum can be gained, but I know there's a lot of momentum that can be lost. Yeah. So I just look at Carolina and their swagger of what they're trying to do. Like I said earlier, I think it's something great for the National Football League. I think it's good because each and every year when something happens like this, it is always the Patriots. And as you know, as a Patriot fan, people are tired of hearing about, I don't care if the Patriots are 13-0, I'm tired of them anyway.
Yep.
So I don't mean it in a negative light, but I think when it comes to the National Football League, all 32 teams, knowing it's a business, knowing it's a family environment, I think it's good for the National Football League that it's somebody other than the New England Patriots that's making this type of noise.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it, but I'm okay with it.
Okay.
So who do you think is the best wide receiver in the league right now?
I would have to say Antonio Brown is the best wide receiver in the game right now because of everything that he's able to do. I think when you look at Dez Bryant, at the things that he's able to do, he was hobbled by injury this year. Tony Romo went out. So I don't think his skills or anything dropped or diminished. I just think that their play as far as an offense wasn't up to power. And I think that Antonio Brown was able to capitalize because when what's his name, Jones came in for Ben
Pittsburgh, yeah.
for Ben Roethlisberger, we didn't even see Antonio Brown. Is the quarterback even looking his way? Next thing you know, man, Ben came back, man, and he lit the scoreboard up. So, I mean, I've always been a fan of the little wide receivers. And, I was fans of the Wes Welkers, the Antonio Browns, the Steve Smith Seniors, the Torrey Holtz, Isaac Bruce. I've always been a fan of the little guys because, in a roundabout way, one of my favorite receivers, it may be my favorite receiver of all time, and I'm going to give you the reason why, is Hines Ward.
Really?
And the reason why that Hines Ward has to be my favorite receiver is because I watched him in college as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And when he came to the Pittsburgh Steelers, he had to make the transition from quarterback to wide receiver. Hey, and the rest is history. You seen what he was able to do at that wide receiver position. He was knocking guys out from all sides and angles of the field. He was catching the ball in traffic. So basically, in a roundabout way, Hines Ward at quarterback really showed me and other wide receivers at their position how to really be nasty in a good way. Not taking not bending any rules, not doing anything illegal. And I know he got some fines and things like that, but to see a man switch from quarterback to wide receiver and do it the way he was able to do it, Hines Ward is probably my favorite receiver, definitely of all time. I have to tip my hat off to him.
Fantastic. Super Bowl prediction. I know you said it's tough and you don't know who it's going to be, but if you had to guess, who's going to play and who's going to win?
Ooh, man, I'm going with the Patriots are going back.
Yes.
The Patriots are going back. Katie, I want to say either Seattle or the Carolina Panthers are going. And I got to go put it like this. I called Tom Mr. Angry at the beginning of the season just because everything that was on top of his shoulders, everybody coming down on him. And when he was able to play week 1, I made a prediction because I was uncertain about Tom and the 4 games with Garoppolo and things like that. That my first prediction was the Indianapolis Colts because they were able to make it to the AFC Championship last year.
Uh-huh.
They made an addition with Frank Gore being the running back, Andre Johnson. So I thought they found some missing pieces to their puzzle. But you can see the Colts are not going. They'll probably be out first round if they even make it.
Yeah.
So I was just more looking at the Seattle Seahawks getting back there. But now Carolina Panthers just jumped up on the board. So I'm going with both of those teams for the fact that they both have defense. My prediction is the New England Patriots to win it just for the fact. And I'm not being biased, and I'm not, Katie, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm not saying it because you're on this, we're on this FaceTime. I'm saying it just for the fact because I went and seen the team this summer.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to the team this summer, and just being able to see their focus and things like that. That's why I want to see how they come together and start gelling when they get all those missing pieces all back at once. One thing about it, defensively, the linebacker Hightower, I don't even know how much time he's missed, but they've missed him, and you see what type of defensive they've been playing.
Yeah.
Jamie Collins has been sick over the last couple of weeks, so once they get everybody back collectively, I really want to see what type of performance the Patriots is going to put on that field week 1. If it's week 1 or week 2 of the playoffs, it'll be week 2 because they'll get a bye, first round bye.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to see the second game of the playoffs to see how the Patriots come out because I think that a lot of people are going to be able to tell because, like I said, the Super Bowl is up for grabs. My prediction is the Patriots being able to see the focus of Tom, seeing Tom's weapons being out, but then finding ways to win. You see him run? Did you see Tom run for that first down the other night?
I did.
Did you hold on to your hat?
I always am holding on to my hat when Tom runs.
So, like I said, man, to me, knowing that you don't really get to see that often, man, I'm over there. Boy, you better run because they coming. So I like having fun with it. So, like when my wife hears me and stuff, she's like, "Boy, what's going on? Tom is running." So. Just being able to have fun with it, man. Just checking it out, man. So like I say, I I love football. I love being around football. And like I said, man, I've been able to say that I was a part of the Patriots, team, that organization. I mean, there's 32 teams out there, but when you look at the New England Patriots and what they stand for and the things that they've been able to accomplish, you know that they're one of the elite teams, if not the number one team in the National Football League.
I could listen to you say things like that all day, Randy Moss.
Hey, I'm not hyping you up or the Patriots up. I'm just stating facts, Katie. That's all.
Just stating facts. We wrap up every podcast with something called the Garbage 10. I just ask you 10 rapid fire questions. They're silly things. So we're going to jump into that now. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. What was the first car you drove?
A Honda Accord.
Not a bad first car. Ranch or blue cheese?
Ranch.
Yes. What's the first concert you ever went to?
MC Hammer.
Oh my
God. And I had 4 different color blues on.
What?
Man, I didn't have nothing to wear. I got in free. Katie, I don't know if we have time for this, but MC Hammer is one of my favorite artists because he danced all around the stage, and I used to like dancing. So something told me to get $2, $1 for the bus ride down, $1 for the bus ride back, and just go stand. Luckily, somebody seen me standing, gave me a ticket. Man, I got in there to see MC Hammer.
Somebody just gave you a ticket?
Hey, one of the people at the door had an extra one, so just see me standing there, hey, with my 4 different colored blues on.
That's what did it.
Yeah, and I got to see Hammer. That was a great experience for me.
Good for you. If you only had 3 blues, you might not have made it, but 4, they let you in the door. That's an amazing story. Okay, who's your favorite superhero?
Superhero? I have a lot. I don't have one. Not
you don't
a favorite.
have one favorite? Not Tom Brady?
No, I grew up. One thing about it, I grew up with cartoons.
Yeah.
I've been, affiliated with kids all of my life. I still watch cartoons with my kids, so I don't really have a favorite superhero. I love them all. To be honest, I love them all.
That's a good answer. Are you
Yep.
Are you Marvel or DC? Can you pick one of those?
I like the Marvels.
Yeah.
I like the Marvels. I'm more with. I like the Hulk. I like Iron Man. I like the new generation. Don't get me wrong, but I like to, go back with Aquaman and,
Ooh.
Batman, stuff like that. So, comes with the TV, the animation and things like that, the high definition television, stuff like that. I can honestly say that I've been on both sides to be able to go from the black and white TV to color and the flat screen TVs and all that stuff. So I don't really have a hero out there. I just love them all.
That's a fair answer. Do you put ketchup on top of your French fries or on the side?
Oh, on top.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
What is your guilty pleasure television show?
Man, I don't know. I'm always doing something with the kids, man. So
Katie, is there something like your wife watches that you watch with her that you pretend you don't like?
She watches the nonsense reality shows. So when it comes to like Love and Hip Hop, or it comes to like Empire or something she done recorded, she usually watches it at night when it's QT time, and then in order for me to have QT time with my wife, I got to go in and watch the raggedy show that she watching. So, of course, when it comes to the reality shows, I've seen, Housewives of Atlanta, Housewives of this. So she watches some show now where the doctors of Atlanta have surgery on people. So any reality show, I don't even know, Katie. I just watch the reality shows with her. But when it comes to me, I'm usually watching something, either some type of world news or something with cartoons, Bubble Guppies, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, something like that. So that's my life, Katie.
You are a very good husband and father.
That's me.
Do you floss before or after you brush your teeth?
I have to floss before, and just because I'm just getting all the little particles out my teeth, and
you don't have to go into details, Randy. That's good.
Okay. You asked me.
I gotta know all about your particles. I don't need to know that. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Is a hot dog? Well, what else would it be?
So that's a yes then.
I guess so.
What was the last movie you went to see in the movie theater?
The movie with Nicole Kidman and I think Julia Roberts in it. Something about spies. Something about lies.
Lies.
Oh man, I just seen it like last week. I forgot the name of it, but it had to do with Julia Roberts. They were in the police. They were in the police force, and they get called. They get called to a murder scene, and the guy goes and checks the body out, and it happened to be, Julia's daughter. And the whole movie. It was a great movie. It was
Secret
a
in
great
Their
movie.
Eyes? Is that what it was called?
Secret in Their Eyes. Yeah, it was a great movie. I enjoyed it. It had a great plot to it. I followed the story from start to finish. They prolonged me at times, what I'm saying, just to keep me attracted to the movie. But I dozed off once or twice. But I think, no, because like I said, they prolonged me at times, and I didn't need to see a lot of things. But when the movie started getting good, I thought it was a good movie for those two. That's the last movie I saw.
So your review is that it was really good, even though you took 2 naps in it, but you still really liked it.
There might have been 2 or 3 minute naps, but I wanted to go out to the movies. I didn't know what else was out there playing, so I just went and saw that.
That's good. I'm really happy for you. Last question. If you were about to be put to death, what is your final meal? You need to say an entree, a dessert, and a beverage.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm ready to die. What am I getting ready to eat? I know this is going to make you laugh, but anytime I go out to eat on a regular, I like to order a lot of food, and I make the decision up if I want to take it home or leave it at the restaurant. So my last meal for my entree, I'm going to probably have something from, Morton's Steakhouse, probably a filet with some mashed potatoes. I'm going to probably have me a Big Mac and large fry from McDonald's. Then I'm going to probably get me some type of cheese pizza. So all those 3 into one is going to be my entree. And I'm going to pick at them. I'm going to pick at them one at a time so I can get a taste of everything. I need to taste everything on my taste buds before I leave this earth. So
that's a good point.
Then I want to be able to have a key lime pie, pecan pie, carrot cake pie, all in one with some ice cream on top. And then I'm going to flush all that down with a little bit of water. How about that? How about that? That's it. That's all I got for you. I don't drink a lot of soda, and I'm not, really into alcohol like that. So I'm more of a, a Gatorade guy or a water guy. That's really all I mess with.
That is the best answer anyone has ever given to that question. Oh, it's a lot of food, but hey, you can eat it because you're going to die. Who cares?
You're right.
Randy, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for doing this.
You got it, Katie. Anytime, sweetheart.
It was really good chatting with you.
You got it, man. You have a good day, all right?
You too. Take care.
That was Randy. Thanks, Randy. First joke. Nope, sorry, junk mail. Time for junk mail.
You've got junk mail.
All right, Dave, what do we got,
All right,
Dave?
Alex Jonas asks.
Wait, is that a Jonas brother?
I think so.
Okay, well, technically, he probably has a brother.
Yeah.
Yep,
He asks, excluding garbage time, with you spelled Gerbege time, Thyme.
I don't know what that is.
If you could only watch 5 shows for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Whoa.
For the rest of your life.
Garbage time. That's our answers. And we have to sign that in blood.
Oh, that's actually a good answer. Chappelle Show's a really good answer.
Oh, great. That's
great
on the list.
answer.
You need 4 more.
Well, so here's the thing. Why does everybody who writes in questions always want to take things away from me for the rest of my life? Like, if you can have the best pizza or the best burger for the rest of your life, it's like, guys, just let me have all the things that everybody else has.
Yeah.
Why do
I
you
don't know
want
why.
to deprive me of things? All right, this is tough, but I need your guys' help, so let's go through some things. I think Chappelle Show is a really good choice.
Really good one.
I agree. You're always going to want to laugh the rest of your life.
I love to laugh.
To leave.
Don't make me laugh.
Don't make me laugh.
So Chappelle Show, that's great. I'm into that.
Like, I think instead of like awesome TV, like Breaking Bad and The Wire, like that, I would rather have like Real World Road Rules Challenge seasons.
So shitty TV is definitely a necessity.
Yeah.
My question about this question, and we've got to sort of just decide, is if I pick a show that currently is still on air, I've sort of got an advantage there.
This is true.
And if I pick an old show, I can only watch the existing episodes over and over and over again. So you got to kind of hedge your bet. It's almost like a futures pick. It's like when you're drafting in a league that's a keeper league.
Yeah.
I've got to think about the futures.
You're handcuffing.
It's smart.
Yeah. So I would probably say I want a show that I'm going to be able to not feel dumb watching all the time.
Okay.
So I'll probably take John Oliver.
Great.
He's still on the air. It's once a week, so that sucks, but you learn something. It's not always necessarily topical and timely, so you can learn things without being like, oh, well, I saw this already 5 years ago, and it's not relevant anymore.
Smart.
Still
Smart
information,
pick.
still good to know. So we've got Chappelle, and we've got John Oliver.
Yeah. I think you do need
Great
like a classic,
start.
like what is
Really
your
good
one
start.
is one of your favorite shows of all time that you could go watch.
Nashville.
Great.
I'm just kidding. I don't think we can put
What
Nashville.
about Friday Night Lights, though?
Yeah.
I could watch Friday. So the thing with me is I really don't, once I watch a television show, I don't really go back and watch it. Because you've got to watch it in order and
Tim
you already
Riggins
know
is
what's
in that.
coming. What?
But Tim Riggins is in that.
He is.
You can fall in
But
love
he
with him
snubbed
all
our
over
show,
again.
and so I kind of got over him when that
Wow.
happened.
Oh man.
It's like, you know when someone's right on the verge of being not attractive to you? So like they're hot, but they're dumb, but you're willing to take it. And then as soon as they do one thing and you can't unsee them as like the dumb one anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like that tipping point where it's like
Yes.
you were right on the fence and then you did this one thing and now every time I look at you, you look dumb. That's Tim
And then
Riggins.
you spelled garbage time G-E-R-B-E-G.
T-H-Y-M-E, yeah. Yeah. So, okay, Chappelle, Oliver, we need some filler. Some
Yeah.
filler television.
I mean,
Chopped.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Chopped is good.
Great.
Love It or List It is great.
Great.
Just stuff that you can watch in a marathon and
There's
then
probably 600 chops.
yeah, and 9 episodes later be like, have I been sitting here for 9 hours?
Right. And
Right.
going
One of
back
those
to your
shows.
strategy, like those aren't going away. Like,
Yeah,
you're always
Chopped
gonna
is
be
Chopped is a
surprised.
really good pick. We're gonna put Chopped on there.
That's right.
Chops in.
Okay. Then we've got, like Seinfeld.
Yeah. I mean,
Why'd you
if-
make a face?
No, I'm just saying, like, it's a good face. I think if you're going to go back and watch something that you've already seen before, like, why not make it be like a classic comedy?
Yeah, or go
that you're
back
gonna
to something.
rediscover?
Yeah, back to something I watched in a completely different time in my life.
Yeah.
I haven't rewatched all Seinfelds now, and I think they would mean a lot. They'd be very different to me now.
Right.
Same thing with Curb, though. I could go back and watch Curb, but
my
there's not
gosh.
as many.
Right.
I think you just need something with a fuck ton of episodes. So it would be like a Seinfeld or a Friends. So I think I would go with Seinfeld for that.
Great.
Great.
All right,
Okay, so we've got Chappelle Show, John Oliver,
Yep.
Chopped. God, such a good list. Seinfeld,
Yeah.
and then one more. All right. I only got 3 episodes into The Wire. Please don't yell at me.
Wow.
Oh, then that's perfect.
So I could pick
Go watch
that,
it.
but then what if I don't? But everybody likes it, right?
gonna like it.
So I'm not
Take
going to
some
not
time.
like it.
Yeah.
I just don't have time right now for things like this.
Yeah. But
So
like
the-
in this world you're living in, like
I
you're
have
going to have all the time in the world.
Nothing but time. I'm
Yeah.
like that guy from the Twilight Zone marathon that like he just
Another
wants
good
to
idea.
read.
Twilight Zone.
There it is.
That's it.
Because you know what this is like? The episode where the guy just wants to read all the time and he works in a bank and he brings books and everybody always yells at him for having his head buried in books, which is funny because nowadays it would be a cell phone. But back then his wife is like, you're always reading. And his boss is like, you're always reading. So for lunch he goes into the vault of the bank to read a book because he wants everybody to leave him alone. While he's in the vault, an atom bomb explodes, ends the entire world.
Wow.
The only thing he finds, when he comes up, there's nobody up there, no people. All there is a library. The library has every book in the whole world. So he's like, this is my dream world. There's no people here, no one to bother me, and every book. And as he goes to reach for his first book, his glasses fall off and he steps on them and he can't read.
Classic.
Oh my
episode.
God!
Damn.
Twilight Zone. There it is. Twilight Zone's my last one.
Great lineup.
That was great. Thank you for
Awesome.
coming along with me on that Twilight Zone journey.
That was great.
It was really fun.
I'm so weird. I just told
makes
the
it
entire
awesome.
plot of a Twilight Zone.
I'm into it.
On my
Me
podcast.
too. That's great pod.
If you guys want to talk Twilight Zone, I've got my list of top 5 favorite
too.
episodes.
Me
We'll go
too.
through
We'll
this.
do that
Sure.
off air, yeah.
Okay, everybody, that's it. As my Christmas gift to you, because I'm cheap, we're just going to be back next Thursday on Christmas Eve.
Whoa, are you supposed to buy them all gift cards?
Maybe. I have a take on gift cards. Maybe we'll
Ooh.
get to it in the Christmas Eve podcast.
Ooh, babe.
That way you guys will have something to do when you need to escape your annoying cousin Kyle. Who doesn't have an annoying cousin Kyle? So be sure to subscribe on iTunes and rate it. Leave a comment. Again, 5 stars. Nice comment. Otherwise, maybe think about it for a little. You may change your mind. You can listen to us on SoundCloud or Stitcher, however you like to listen to podcasts. Big thanks again to Randy Moss. Also to producer Matt.
Thank you,
And
Katie.
producer Dave.
Thank you.
We'll be back next week. I'll be wearing this exact same onesie. Thanks to all of you guys for listening. Also, thanks to Adidas and to SeatGeek.
Yeah.
Bye. Love you. Mean it.